Hi, everybody, and welcome to Sunday Synergy. I am here with my good friend Dawn Hammond, and this is going to be our last Sunday Synergy before the new year. Oh my God, 2020 is around the corner, and so she's visiting me, and we were just talking about how important it is to think about where we're going in the new year. And she and I both were talking about we don't do New Year's resolutions because people always say they're going to do this and do that, myself included, and then after a week or so, I fall through the cracks. So there were three things we want to talk about. I always tell people that it's a good day, it's a good year, it's a good month. If I'm healthy, I'm happy, and I'm here. So we're going to take healthy, happy, and here and talk about how those things can help lead the way for 2020. So we're going to start with here, our purpose. Why are we here? What are we doing? What is this life about? Where are we going in 2020? Where are we going to be? Dawn, we talk a lot about how important it is to find our purpose and our path and why we're here. How do you know? You're a life coach, you're an author, you're a community advocate. How do you know what your purpose is? How do you know that?
If we would get away from the stigma of what purpose, so the narrative of purpose is. A lot of times people are in their purpose already. But if we don't think that our purpose is valid, then we won't magnify it or we won't look at it as being purposeful.
Right.
Everybody has their own fingerprint in this world. And that means it's something that you were specially made to do. You have your own ingredient, and just like a pot of stew.
Yeah.
If you don't put enough in it, it's not going to taste good.
That's right.
And if you put too much of it in it, it's not going to taste good. We all bring something to this world that will be missed if we wasn't here.
Yeah.
It's grabbing hold to that. So sometimes we have to get in our quiet space and let our hearts minister to what we're doing. That's how we find out.
Wow, that's great. She is an amazing life coach. And even though she came to visit me, I'm getting all this good information off of her because she is so good at helping you just flush out the things that are going on in your head. And I'm going to make sure that I put her information down below. So make sure I'll put her Facebook, her Instagram, and her website down there. So make sure you connect with her. And I'm going to start posting some of her
Dawn of the Day,
her
podcast.
Yes. Thank you. See how much I know this technology stuff I'm trying to get used to. So her podcasts are amazing. And I listened to some of the today and it was amazing. And I told her, I said, gosh, Dawn, you have so many nuggets in there. So don't miss listening to that because that's going to encourage you and lift you up. So look for it right down here. You'll find all of that, how to get to her great information. So that's going to help us figure out why we're here. Now, what about being healthy? You think about healthy is mind, body, and spirit. And I think a lot of times the word healthy, we think about our body and our physical. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of mental health that we need to be aware of and spiritual health. How do we get to that in the new year?
So first of all, you have to be intentional. A lot of times we're not intentional. We just go through the motions of just going to church on Sundays and listening to the word. But oftentimes if you ask people what did they hear, they don't remember. So you have to be intentional about your spiritual health. That means whatever you're taking in, even when you're listening to, that is all going into your spiritual health. And we're responsible for that.
Right.
Also, we can talk about physical, but if I don't feel good, I won't think right. And if I don't think right, I don't feel good. You see how all of that goes together? It's still our responsibility to make sure that holistically we are dealing with each part of our life. And that means we need to be reflective and we need to be okay to go to the places that sting.
Right.
So we can fix them so they won't sting anymore instead of putting a Band-Aid over it.
Right.
And it's okay. It's scary. It is scary, but it's okay. You will not die. It might sting, but you will not die. But ultimately, if you want to be healthy and free inside, we got to do the work.
Okay. So, that sounds great. And I want to grab all that. But what about the people who aren't there yet? We're talking about going into a new year. There are going to be people who are not ready and they're going to surround us, you guys. We already know that. So how do I remain healthy in a toxic or sick environment or space? How do I keep myself together when I'm around that negative energy?
So you know how we have to keep our pH balanced in our body? You have a pH in your soul.
Well, I never thought about it that way.
You have to make sure that you, again, going back to putting a force field around your internal parts.
Yeah.
That means your mind and how you think, and also the things you put inside your soul. Your soul. Soul.
Soil. Yes.
Yes. And so when you do that, or what have you, it's like a protection of force field. So you can go in the trenches and be around things that are filthy and not get contaminated.
Oh, that's good. So you can be in the field with the bad stuff, but the bad stuff doesn't have to attach itself to you.
Because you'll go right back into that secret place after you leave and wash the residue off of what
Oh,
you've
that's
been through.
good. That's good. See, those are the nuggets I'm talking about. She's just like dropping in there. You're like, oh, that's good. I want some more. And then finally, Dawn, happy. I saved that for the last because, we all look for happiness. Oh, Lord, every day we wake up, I'm like, Lord, just let me have a good day. Let me be happy. Let me do good things. How do we get to that place? 2019 has been so challenging.
Yes.
I don't know, some of you, I've talked to my friends and they've said, oh, so much has gone on in 2019. And it really has around us in the world, just stuff. So how do we get to the happy that we're looking for, that happy place? I know the word for me is a happy place, but even sometimes I still struggle. I'm not going to lie, finding that happiness. How do we get there?
So again, this is the cleverness about God, because he puts the responsibility back on us. And happiness is still a choice as well.
Yeah.
You have to choose to be happy, and people that come into your life that add to the happiness, but they should not be what causes you to get happy. And I think we got that mixed up as a people. We think people are supposed to make us happy. It is my responsibility to find those places. And again, you have to get by yourself to find out who you are. What do you like? What is your special moments? And be okay with that. And they don't have to look like everybody else.
You're right.
Because my definition of success might not be yours. That don't mean it's wrong. It just means it works for me.
Right.
But if I'm not okay with that, then what happens is I start measuring my life according to what I think it should be. And we'll go to the cemetery right now, and if we can wake the people up, I bet you they say they do their life over again. Because you're going to run after things you were never ordained to have.
Yeah.
You will never get them because it wasn't ordained for your life.
Wow.
So if you sit with yourself a little bit, give yourself, I tell people, I have a video about that, 16 minutes a day. I didn't say 20 because 20 seems so far, so I said 16 minutes a day. If you can give yourself 16 minutes a day of investment of nothing but just being. We have a to-do list where you have to have a to-be list. Just be nothing to nobody but yourself. And you can start hearing your heart echoing and telling you direction. You can hear God speaking to you and telling you what you should do now. And your body can rest. Our bodies, our brains need to rest. So that is our responsibility. You have to be intentional about every part of you, even your happiness.
Yeah. Wow, that's so good. And you think about 16 minutes a day, that doesn't sound like a lot of time to just give yourself, but we get so busy that we don't give ourselves that 16 minutes. So you know what? I'm going to take your advice on that, and I'm going to really start getting that 15, 16 minutes a day just for me to reflect and think and breathe.
Yes.
Because we get so busy that we don't give ourselves that time, and we do need to rest physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all of that good stuff. So this is what I'm talking about. Dawn Hammond, I'm so glad she's here visiting me.
I'm glad to.
And I'm going to make sure you have her website, and it's going to be down below, is www.discoveryhouse.net. She is on Facebook, y'all. Discovery House on Facebook. And her Instagram is Discovery House, is that underscore?
Yes.
Discovery House underscore, but I will put all of that up. Please follow her podcast because they're going to inspire you, motivate you, pour into you daily. And like I said, she is an amazing author coming up. She is phenomenal, a woman of God, a woman of just pouring into others. She gives so much back. So I wanted to share her with my Sunday Synergy because she gives me synergy and energy. So you guys, this is the wind down of a 2019, getting ready to start a beautiful 2020, and you get to be the captain of your ship with your intentionality, as Dawn said, and think about a word that's going to define you this year. I think the word for me is maybe 2 words, no regrets. For me, it's no regrets. I don't want to look back and say, I wish I coulda, shoulda, woulda, didn't have enough time. So I'm going to give myself that 16 minutes you said. No regrets. I don't want any regrets. What would you say your words are that maybe...
I have a nugget for you.
Here you go. Here's a nugget. That's what I'm talking about. Catch it.
Be strong enough to be different and mature enough to change. It takes great strength to move away from the crowd and be the opposite. It also takes great reflection to know when it's time for me to change. Wow. And that is how 2020 should look for all of us. It's changing and reflecting and understanding that we have things we have to do. And if we want it, we got to work for it.
That's it. Work. Got to put the work in. Got to grind. You all have a fantastic, safe, and wonderful new year. Yes. I will see you on the other side of 2020. Yes. We love you. Be safe, be fruitful, and goodbye.
2020 vision.
2020 vision. Bye.